Welcome everybody to Sports Talk Warzone. I'm your host, Victor Blaze. We're going to go into it today. What is going on, people? What is going on in the world of sports? There's a lot of craziness going on. That's what's going on. Check this out. NFL. Let's see. In the NFL, we got Troy Aikman coming out and saying that he believes that the Dallas Cowboys are either going to pick up either RG3 or Johnny Manziel, depending on what they do in the draft. So basically what he's saying is that if the Dallas bleeping Cowboys don't pick up a quarterback in this draft coming up, then that's a sign that they're going to pick up either RG3 or Johnny Manziel. Now, he also went on to say that Jerry Jones wanted Manziel from the beginning, and he's been kicking himself ever since. And even now, apparently, Jerry Jones wants Johnny. So that's going to be interesting. Now, even more interesting than that is the situation with RG3 and the Redskins, and here's why. Now, I said from the beginning during the preseason that they put a hit out on RG3. I said that from the jump. Okay. Now, because of that, the Redskins were looking to get rid of RG3 and to make Kirk Cousins the starting quarterback. And the reason why is because Cousins fit the scheme, the game plan for Jay Gruden, which is nothing wrong with that. But if you go back and you look at that preseason game against the Detroit Lions, I'm telling you, if there was ever a conspiracy to get rid of a player, it was in that game. The Redskins were not blocking for this dude at all. They were literally letting Detroit Lion defenders just blow right past their offensive line, because the mission was to get RG3 out so Kirk Cousins could start. And that's exactly what they did. RG3 got a concussion, and they said, okay, that's it. Kirk Cousins is the starter quarterback for the rest of the league, for the rest of the season. And they went into the 2015 season with Kirk Cousins because that was the real plan all along, even though Jay Gruden, prior to that, had said that RG3 was going to be the starter. And I'm saying all that to say this. The Skins are going to get rid of RG3 the same way Dallas got rid of DeMarco Murray and let him go to the Eagles. And I've been saying all along that the perfect karma would be if RG3 was to go to Dallas and light it up, which is possible. It's very much possible that that's what you could see. This is going to be a very interesting thing to see how this plays out. RG3 is going to be healthy. He's going to be much healthier than he's been in a very, very long time, because he had a whole season to sit out, and he didn't have to sit there and try to make every play this year and try to be Superman. He wasn't carrying the team on his back, which he usually has to do for the Redskins. He didn't have to do that this year. He didn't have to do it this year, and that makes him very dangerous. That makes him very dangerous coming as a free agent this season. And if the Cowboys pick him up and he's able to stay healthy and he's able to back up Tony Romo, who, is also a scrambling quarterback, RG3 can learn a lot from him. Of course, he doesn't want to learn how to throw them interceptions in the end of the game. I had to throw a jab in there, but still, this could play out very, very, this could be very interesting, I should say, to say the least. Okay, so you got that going on right now, and it all comes down to what the Cowboys are gonna do in the draft. Basically, they pass up on a quarterback, then basically that's what we're looking at. If they pass up on a quarterback, then it's a telltale sign that they may be looking at either Johnny Manziel or Robert Griffin. And according to Troy Aikman, it's a possibility that Jerry Jones doesn't see anything in either one in any of these quarterbacks that are coming out of the draft. He's not too big on any of them. So you have that. See, also around the NFL, you have Von Miller is joking that he had a joke that one of the intercepted ball, the ball he intercepted against the Patriots feels flat. So Deflategate is not going away. That's pretty funny. You also have Cam Newton telling people how he really feels. Says let's read a little bit of what Cam Newton had to say. It says, Carolina Panthers quarterback Cam Newton doesn't plan to change who he is. This is David Newton from ESPN. It says, Carolina Panthers quarterback Cam Newton doesn't plan to change who he is or what he says just because he's preparing for the Super Bowl and all the hype that comes with it. It says Newton's response to critics he'll face heading into February the 7th title game against the Denver Broncos will be the same it has been since he entered the NFL. It says I said this since day one, Newton said. I'm an African-American quarterback that may scare a lot of people because they haven't seen nothing that they can compare me to. It's interesting. I hope he's talking about his skill level. I somewhat agree with that. I don't know if there's anyone that you can compare Cam to. I haven't seen anyone. RG3 looked like he was going to be what Cam Newton is. I had this discussion on the Radio Talk Takeover show with Rashad Mitchell. Cam is a lot better than what a lot of people thought he was going to be. He actually became the quarterback that he was in college in the NFL, except he's a lot more crisper. He's a lot more seasoned. He's a lot more. He's locked in. He's got his mind correct. He's first of all, he's never been a troublemaker. But he would get distracted. Now he's not even distracted anymore by anything. He seems to be just focused on what he needs to do. So that's one thing. But I don't know if there is a quarterback that you can compare him to. You can't compare him to any of the drop back quarterbacks because they don't have a skill set. They're not able to scramble like him. And a lot of the quarterbacks that can scramble don't have his. He's a lot more accurate than a lot of quarterbacks that usually you have a dual threat that can scramble, get out of the pocket, but they're not as accurate as Cam Newton, and that's probably the scariest thing about him. But I'm gonna continue to read. It says, I'm gonna read that part again. It says, I've said this since day one. Newton said, I'm an African American quarterback that may scare a lot of people because they haven't seen nothing that they can compare me to. Newton has been a lightning rod for criticism for much of his career. He was called immature and moody during his first couple of NFL seasons because he sometimes sat alone on a sideline with a towel over his head when the team was losing. He's been questioned for a lack of leadership. Well, look, he was just a kid when he came in the league, and Cam wasn't used to losing. He wasn't used to losing. The Auburn Tigers won the national championship when he came in, and he was the Heisman winner. Cam wasn't used to losing, and it took adjusting. It took time. He's only been in the league 4 years, something like that. I can't remember. I can't quite remember how long he's been in the league, but he was just a kid. And losing just wasn't something that he was ready to get used to. And you got to understand that. The greats want to win. The greats, they expect excellence from themselves and the people around them. So to get upset at Cam because he didn't go around buttering everyone up or patting everyone on the back when they were losing, you can't get too mad at Cam for that. You want to win. And at that time, Panthers weren't, they weren't what they are now. I'm going to read this part. It says, Newton has been a lightning rod for criticism. For much of his career, he was called immature and moody during his first couple of NFL seasons because he sometimes sat alone on the sideline with the towel over his head when his team was losing. He has been questioned for a lack of leadership. He's been questioned for dabbing and dancing after scoring touchdowns, for taking photos of teammates at the end of blowout win, at the end of a blowout win. But Newton said he's the same person now as he was when the Panthers made him the first pick in the 2011 draft. So yeah, he's been there since 2011. That Anyway, all that being said, he's going to show off. It's a part of his personality, and it's just something people are going to have to get over. I think when you look at Cam Newton, it's like looking into the future. He's the future of the NFL, like it or not. You are looking at the future. Cam Newton is what the NFL is going to turn into as far as quarterbacks are concerned. Me and Rashad Mitchell was speaking on the show yesterday, and on Tuesday, we were saying that if you look back over the past couple of years, Colin Kaepernick, Russell Wilson twice, and now Cam Newton. That's 4 straight years that you've had that scrambling quarterback in the Super Bowl. 4 straight years. Okay, and this is becoming a regular thing. So for all you people that think that this is just a phase or this is just a fad, you might as well get used to it. And you better get used to Cam Newton. If you don't like the way he smiles, you don't like the way he do his little dances or his little head nod or whatever it is that he does, you might as well get used to it. Because I'm telling you right now, this dude ain't going away. He's built like a brick house. He's not injury prone. Okay. So I mean, for all the people that want to hate on him, you might as well just, take a back seat, man, and enjoy the ride, because he's gonna be around. He's gonna be around for a while. And the thing that I've discussed and I've said that I like about Newton the most, he does not. What's the word? He doesn't crack under pressure. And I've said it before and I'll say it again. He has that Brady-like presence where at the end of a game, it feels like he's going to win it somehow, some way. So anyway, moving back to the Dallas Cowboys. The Cowboys have. Let me see. This is Jerry Jones, right? This is what Jerry Jones had to say. It says, Jerry Jones backs Tony Romo, saying drafting a quarterback is not a have to. It's not something that they have to do. Well, I disagree with that, and it's time to get another quarterback. Period. By far, it's time. I'm not gonna say it's way past time, but I'm just saying it's time. Last time Tony Romo was on the field, he was hurt. I think he was only able to play. Let me see. He got hurt. He was out most of the year. He came back towards the end of the year. They thought they was going to be able to go on a run. He got hurt the very next game that he started. It is time to find a new quarterback. It's time to draft someone. It is time. And Jerry Jones is full of it. Unless he is planning on picking up Robert Griffin III or Johnny Manziel. Either one could be a Dallas Cowboy next year. It says, let's read this. It says, as soon as the North practice ended Wednesday at the Senior Bowl, Dallas Cowboys owner and general manager, that's the problem, owner and general manager, says Jerry Jones walked up to the North Dakota State quarterback Carson Wentz to shake his hand. Despite being in the early part of the evaluation process, the connection of Wentz and the Cowboys have already begun. Perhaps even with the 4th overall pick in this year's draft. It says, but as Jones spoke to reporters soon after meeting Wentz, he said it is not a must for his team to draft a quarterback this spring in the first or any round. That's crazy. You're out of your damn mind. I don't know what the hell Jerry Jones is talking about. It may be just time for him to step down and let somebody else run the team. Because he's losing it. It's the same way with Al Davis. It's just time to step back and let somebody else run his team. It's time to get another quarterback. And I know Cowboy fans are just losing their damn mind. Those that have sense. Some Cowboy fans are delusional and think they're just going to win anyway. Listen, you're not doing nothing. Get another quarterback. It is time. It's time to move on. I'm not saying treat Tony Romo like an old dog that you take in the backyard, and take him out of his misery. But it may be time to put that dog to rest. It just may be that time. I don't know if he has it in him anymore. I'm not sure. I don't know if Romo can even go a full season anymore. He has back problems, shoulder problems. I think he broke a collarbone. He broke his collarbone. He has so many issues, man. It's just time for dude to sit down. Well, not time for him to sit down, but it's time to get a backup quarterback because he's probably going to end up having to sit down. And those are just facts, man. Those are just facts. It's just like Arizona. The Cardinals. Do you really depend on Carson Palmer to take you through a whole season? You can't. You cannot. It says, continue reading. It says, this is Jerry Jones speaking here. It says, there are many options, Jones said. There's free agency. The question you asked, and I'm taking it literally, is do you have to? Have to do what? Do we have to draft a quarterback to compete for a Super Bowl next year? Do we have to compete for a Super Bowl in the future? Do you have to have it in place after you have this draft? It says there's no have to here in my mind because we have the luxury of having Tony Romo for a minimum 3, 4, 5 years here. So they believe Romo's gonna be okay, or at least he does. That's crazy to me. This man wasn't even able to come back into the game, come back for one game after sitting out all that time last year without getting hurt. He couldn't even come back to lead them to victory or be able to come back the next week and do it. My theory is that Romo he may be finished. He's taken a lot of blows, a lot of hits over the years, and this just might be it. Now I don't blame Jones for taking his quarterbacks back. But it's just be real, man. Be real. You need another quarterback. You need a good backup. You need to go into the season knowing that Romo might not make it through. And it's going to be a shame because he's put up some really good numbers, but he's probably never going to see a Super Bowl. Never going to reach it. He's never going to get past like the first or the second round of the playoffs probably. He's only been past it twice. And he's been snake bitten. Some people just have that kind of career. What can you do? Not everybody's going to win a Super Bowl. That's what makes it so special. Dan Marino didn't win it. Jim Kelly didn't win it. And you can't really think of too many quarterbacks that are better than them or deserve it more than they do. But not everybody's going to win it. Why? Because he's a Dallas Cowboy and he's put up big numbers as a Dallas Cowboy. He has to win a Super Bowl? No. His time might be up. I believe that any player that can't go, a full game without getting hurt, his time is up. It just might be over for him. It just might be over. No hard feelings, but it just might be that time. See? Now, check this out. It says Romo was expected to have surgery on his left collarbone in the near future. And he's turning 36 in April. It says he has missed 13 games in the past 2 seasons. He missed 12 in 2015 after breaking his collarbone twice, and in one excuse me, and one in 2014 with two transverse process fractures. He also had two back surgeries in 2013. So I mean, this is your quarterback, man. You know, this is your quarterback. They can get him anywhere. You know, and what I mean by that is the defense can get him anywhere. They can injure him anywhere. You know, pick a spot. His whole body is banged up and ached up. So anyway, that's my opinion. That's the way I'm looking at it. That's the way I feel. It's not about what you've done. It's about what have you done for me lately. And I think that I'm going to be honest with you, Cowboy fans ain't going to want to hear this. But I think that as far as the Tony Romo era goes, I think that they missed their opportunity in the 2014 season. That was the closest they were going to get to having a team that would make it to the Super Bowl. That was the year that DeMarco Murray went off, and the year that Dez Bryant dropped the ball. He literally dropped the ball against the Packers. Okay, and I think that was it. No hard feelings, but I just believe that. I believe that was it, and I believe that that was also when the Cowboys peaked and they had people healthy, and it was just time. It was their time, and something went wrong. There was a glitch in the matrix, and somehow they ended up losing anyway. And I just want to say, you know, you have to take advantage of opportunities. When they come knocking, you have to take advantage of it. You cannot mess around with a team that good and end up missing, you know, the Super Bowl. You just can't do it. You just can't do it. You have to take advantage of those opportunities when they come knocking. When that window of opportunity opens, you have to go in. Otherwise, it's going to close on you real quick. Because one thing about the NFL, players get hurt. And you know, what's working today may not be working tomorrow. You know? So, anyway, it's going to be a very interesting offseason. And I think that Romo and the Cowboys got to get real, especially the Cowboys front office. They have to get real. They have to know that they cannot rely on Tony Romo to take them anywhere anymore. It's really just that simple. You know, what is he going to do at this point that's no different from what he's already done? You know, when a team has a jailbreak defense and they come running for him, what is he going to do? Try to scramble out? You know, he's a player that can't stay healthy. And other teams know that. Especially those teams in the NFC East. They know that. And they're going to be looking to take him out. Therefore, you need to go get yourself a quarterback that's not known for getting taken out of games so much. It's the only way to solve it. Anyway, I'm Victor Blaze, sportstalkwarzone.com. Also, check me out with my co-host, Rashad Mitchell on Radio Talk Takeover, and you can check out all the podcasts there. Man, y'all take it easy, and I'll be back next Thursday.